That, my friends, is the sound of a full wallet. Season's coming to a close, and every time I go out, it just feels like there's going to be less and less. And you know, these past couple of weeks, man, my voice is just hoarse. It's just been horrible, you know. Or sorry, not horrible. They've been surprisingly good. I've only been at this. This is my second season going out here. First season I started, you know, 2/3 of the way through, and yeah, I'm just surprised about actually finding stuff this late in the game here. So, but it was not going to be a good one. I seriously, I was just, I literally found stuff at one garage sale, and I mean, when you have when you have good days, you know, and you know, there's only one other time this entire season I didn't find anything. I'm just like disappointed. You know, there's good stuff, sure, but still disappointed. I don't know, maybe my luck got sucked up elsewhere. Someone else was using it. Ah, and you know the worst part about it is when somebody tells you that your deal you just missed it a little bit ago, and there was a sale I went to where I asked about games and about this, you know, Sega and Nintendo and stuff, and they were saying the street over last week was selling, you know, Sega Genesis and Atari games. And the worst part about it is, you know, I think my strategy is a good one. I clean up, you know. I ask, make sure that they don't have any they're selling. I move on. I don't have to go back to the same house ever again if they're never going to sell, if they don't have that stuff. But it just so happened that the street one over, I had gone to that sale before and I'd asked them. They said they didn't have any of that stuff. So obviously they were lying, or maybe somebody else brought over new stuff. Sometimes families, you know, they kind of coalesce into one garage sale. But yeah, I mean, it's just a shame, because especially since last week it was even worse, because last week I got back and found that somebody had bought a Nintendo and a bunch of games. So let's just get into this. Yeah. So anyways, found nothing in my entire town. Nothing. And then I go over to a sale. As I was heading down to the other town, as I normally do after my sales, I go to the thrift stores in the other town, and I made note of a yard sale that said they were selling video games. I go there, they have like nothing, and I ask, and the lady, she brought out a Game Boy Pocket, red. Screen is pretty darn good, and she had Wario Land 2. I originally had this one, bought it brand new, but I mean, it's a good game, but at the time I was just, I guess, I don't know, a kid and wanted money. And then Skate or Die, Bad and Rad. Probably not going to have too much fun with this. I'll give it a whirl. But yeah, and I asked, you know, she didn't have any other cartridge type games, but I asked if she had some PlayStation, and she had showed me some PS2 games, and none of them were really that interesting. I think I might have. I was thinking about picking up one of the Rampage games she had, Rampage for the PlayStation 2, but I can't remember what the name of it was. But decent, but Rampage is Rampage, so I don't need another version of that. And then she said she had some PlayStation 1 games, but they were her favorite. And anyway, she showed me them, and probably already saw that, but either way, they were disc only. One was something about like a board game, running a board game shop or something, and then the other one was Azure Dreams. And I remember this game was supposed to be like a Zelda type game, and she confirmed it. But yeah, I mean, thought that was pretty cool, so I had to get that one. I offered her 3. She bumped it up to 5. And I said sure. And it said, I asked her if she had the manual or the case, because she had the manual for the other game, which was supposedly her favorite. And she said that she would, I could leave her my name and number, and she would get back to me. And like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, I got a call from her. I think it was 20, 30 minutes later. But either way, 20, 30 minutes later, got a call. She showed the manual. I said I'd get back there probably within an hour and a half. Probably ended up being more like an hour and a half to 2 hours. But either way, I mean, to find the manual and the game is actually in pretty, it's in okay shape. It's not like pristine or anything. There's surface scratches, very light, nothing deep. I'm pretty sure that the disc gets that way because the drives mess them up. The old PS1 drives, maybe the PS2 drives. But yeah, that was it. That was my yard sale. That was my garage sale. And man, that was not good. That was not the entire season. That was like, this could have been a day where I had nothing, Man, I sound like crap. I need to get some water. Oh, man. Alright. By the way, Chuckle's here. He looks like he's in good health, doesn't he? But, there's some black spots in there. I think Chuckles needs to be chucked soon. But I was thinking, there's got to be a way to preserve these guys. I only had them for like a week or two, so I can't let my co-host go that quickly. So anyways, I checked out the thrift stores, nothing at the first. And the second one, talk about, being a day late. I come in, there was, I think I saw the blue N64 controller, and I saw Rugrats facing me in one of their little bins they have behind the glass. And I hadn't seen Rugrats or the blue N64 controller. This was new. I had just been there on Thursday, and this was Saturday. And so, I thought there must be more. I saw there were like 2 other cartridges behind there. And so, I'm asking to see the bins and just checking. And the Rugrats one I pulled N64 cleaning kit, Ready-to-Rumble boxing, and Revolt, which I think I rented this game back on the Dreamcast or the N64. It probably was the N64 because Dreamcast was like, no, actually could have been Dreamcast. I probably would have preferred the Dreamcast version, but and then I picked up the blue N64 controller. There was like one Nintendo game there, one original Nintendo game there that I had never seen before. I didn't see the previous 2 days ago or whatever, on Thursday when I went there. Because bad dudes, and I'm not going to pay, even if everything was half off, I wasn't going to pay $1 for that game, especially since I already picked it up a couple weeks ago and it's a total shit game. But who knows, maybe I made the bad choice. Maybe I needed 2 of the bad games. I think it's a bad game. Somebody might like it, but whatever. They were all 50 cents each, those games, which is surprising because normally they're like $2 each for any game. It doesn't matter what. Sometimes the DVD games are a little bit more, $5. Maybe if it's 2 CD, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Usually they're $2 each. So yeah, and then I was checking out, and the lady was saying like they had gotten a whole bin in the previous day, and they were selling these stuff like crazy, and I'm just like, damn, you know, like I was going in like the Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays actually for a little bit, and I was just like, this is too much, I'm gonna stop. And I think it was 2 weeks that I stopped. If I went, whatever, who knows what was in the bin, but you know, then I'm checking out, I checked out, and I'm packing crap up in my bag, and I see one of the attendants kind of moving something around in a bin, and I picked up, I saw Glover. So I have this game already, but for 50 cents. I mean, even those games here, like Ready to Rumble Boxing, I'm not really that interested in. Revolt might be fun. Who knows? I'm hoping it's the one I played, because it was a fun game. Anyways, for 50 cents, there are always the cart backs you can use if you ever need to replace another one because it's all jacked up. My voice is so bad. Jeez Louise. Same bin, it's all Atari games, and I had seen these games like here for at least 2 weeks, and I think they were about to go back. They send stuff back that they don't sell. It's been sitting in the store for a while, and I really wasn't going to buy these because they were selling it like $1 or $2 each, and you know, they were games that I already had, and the only reason I would think I would want them is because, you know, I have now like 4 Ataris, and I probably should sell one. So I thought maybe I'd get some loose carts that are popular games, but they were like $2 or $1, so now it was 50% off, and the lady gave them all to me for $1 each with 50% off, so 50 cents each. So Defender, Space Invaders, Missile Command, and Asteroids. Popular games. Yeah. So yeah, oh yeah. One other thing. I go back to my town, my store, and they had this in the case, Smash Brothers Melee, but inside, no game. So I asked, could I have it? And they said sure. And this is useful because if you ever find the game, then you have a good semi-complete copy of it. So, you know, I found my Zelda like that, Zelda Wind Waker. Now, I do have one more sale. On my way down to the other town, I stopped at this sale that was advertised, and the lady, I asked if she had any of these older games. Started naming things like Nintendo and Sega and Super Nintendo and N64, Game Boy, whatever. I think I spouted off, whatever. And then she said she had like Nintendo and Sega, and then she also had Super Nintendo, and she had the systems, and then I should show up tomorrow at like 2. Could this be an earth-shattering haul? Could this be a gold mine? Wait and see.